Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by an emotional attachment, trapped in a cycle that feels impossible to escape? If so, you're not alone. Millions of people struggle to break free from these invisible chains, feeling powerless, stuck, and consumed by their emotions. But here's the good news. Change is not only possible, it's absolutely within your reach. In today's video, inspired by the timeless wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, you'll discover 11 powerful Stoic rules that will help you emotionally detach from someone without becoming cold, heartless, or indifferent. As Seneca wisely said, "He who is brave is free." And that's exactly what emotional detachment is about. It's not about shutting people out. It's about finding strength and clarity within yourself. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you'll unlock practical, healthy strategies that loosen the grip of emotional attachment, restore your inner peace, and refocus your energy on what truly matters. So, are you ready to break free from the chains of emotional dependency and step into a life of freedom and self-mastery? If your answer is yes, then stay with me, because what you're about to learn could genuinely change the way you experience relationships, emotions, and life itself. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss content like this. And if at any point during this video something resonates with you, drop a comment below. I read every single one. Now, let's get started. Rule number 1, the power of detachment. Have you ever felt like your emotions were a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings? Have you ever stopped to think about just how much control you've handed over to other people because of your attachments? This is where the power of detachment comes in. Detachment means learning to live in a way where your inner peace and happiness don't depend on external factors, on what someone else says, does, or thinks about you. But why is detachment so transformative? Let me share with you the wisdom of Epictetus, who said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." Think about that for a moment. It's not what happens to you that causes suffering. It's what you tell yourself about what happens. Detachment is about reclaiming your power. It's the understanding that while you cannot control external events, you absolutely can control your reaction to them. When we cling too tightly to people or situations, they start to control us. It's like handing someone else the remote control to your feelings and letting them change the channel whenever they want. Their mood dictates your mood. Their approval becomes your oxygen. Their rejection becomes your devastation. Detachment is taking that remote back. It's deciding for yourself which channels to watch. Here's a powerful metaphor. Imagine your emotions are like a kite. Every string attached to someone or something represents a potential direction your emotions can be pulled. If you're holding too many strings or gripping one too tightly, you'll be at the mercy of the wind. Stoicism teaches us to wisely choose which strings to hold and how tightly to hold them. This doesn't make you cold or uncaring. It makes you grounded. It makes you resilient. So, let's get practical. Start by identifying what or who you're excessively attached to. Then ask yourself, why? Are you seeking validation? Are you afraid of being alone? Is it fear of the unknown? Understanding the root of your attachment is the very first step toward loosening its grip. Next, engage in activities that fill you with a sense of purpose and fulfillment, things that are entirely within your control. By focusing on what you can influence and releasing what you can't, you begin to rely on your own strength and values rather than external circumstances. When you embrace detachment, you start seeing the world differently. You realize that your worth isn't tied to external circumstances. It's internal and unshakable. As Seneca put it, "He who is brave is free." By practicing detachment, you're not withdrawing from life. You're participating in it more fully, with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Rule number 2, understanding attachment. Have you ever wondered why we cling so desperately to certain people or situations, even when they're clearly causing us pain? What drives this need to hold on? And more importantly, how can we free ourselves from it? Understanding attachment is a crucial step on the path to emotional freedom. So let's go deeper, drawing on the wisdom of the Stoic philosophers. At its core, attachment is rooted in our ego. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom highlights the very essence of attachment, our desires and perceived needs. When we're attached to someone or something, we're often operating from a place of ego. We're seeking validation. We're seeking security. We're seeking a sense of identity from external sources. Think about a child growing up. As we mature, our ego gradually takes the driver's seat. It clutters our inner world with people, possessions, and ideals that we believe define us. This clutter clouds our judgment and distracts us from our true essence, which, at its core, is love and self-contentment. Have you ever felt like your happiness depended entirely on someone else's approval? Like you couldn't feel complete without their presence or validation? That's attachment speaking. That's the ego's hunger for external confirmation. Here's the thing most people miss. To begin freeing yourself from these attachments, you must first recognize them for what they truly are, products of your ego seeking safety and reassurance. Ask yourself these powerful questions. Why am I so attached to this person or outcome? What fear or desire is driving this attachment? What am I really afraid of losing? Understanding the root of your attachment is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see clearly. Now, imagine living from a place of love rather than ego. What if you could trust in the abundance of life, believing that what is truly meant for you will find its way? This shift in consciousness is incredibly powerful. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and potential, independent of external factors. When you start viewing your desires and connections through this lens, you begin to see the unnecessary weight that attachment adds to your life. Embracing a mindset of abundance is transformative. When you release the fear of loss, life often rewards you with something far greater than what you let go of. It's paradoxical, but it's profoundly true. Rule number 3, the illusion of control. Have you ever felt like your happiness was entirely dependent on someone else's actions or approval? Have you ever believed that if you just tried hard enough, you could control the outcome of your relationships and emotions? This is one of the most common and most dangerous traps we fall into. It's called the illusion of control. And understanding this illusion is absolutely critical for emotional freedom. Our ego constantly deceives us into thinking we can control external events and other people's reactions. This illusion drives us to place excessive importance on how others perceive us, which inevitably leads to emotional attachment and dependency. Epictetus put it perfectly, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This principle highlights a fundamental Stoic truth. We cannot control external events, but we can always control our response to them. When we cling to the illusion of control, we often end up putting certain people on a pedestal. We idolize them. We give them godlike status in our minds. We convince ourselves that our worth is somehow tied to their approval, that we need them to feel complete, valuable, or worthy. This creates a completely distorted perception of reality. We start believing that others possess something we don't, some special quality, some magic ingredient that we desperately need. But here's what happens when you strip away these illusions. You realize that every single person is equally human and equally vulnerable. Nobody has a golden ticket that makes them inherently more worthy or superior. Nobody holds the key to your happiness, except you. To shatter this illusion, start by honestly acknowledging what is and isn't within your control. Make a list if you need to. On one side, write down everything you can control: your thoughts, your reactions, your effort, your personal growth. On the other side, write everything you can't: other people's feelings, their decisions, their opinions about you, the outcome of events. This simple exercise can be both liberating and humbling. It shifts your focus from chasing external validation to investing in what you actually have power over: your own mind. Instead of seeking approval from others, practice self-affirmation. Regularly remind yourself of your unique strengths and qualities. Understand, truly understand, that your worth does not depend on someone else's perception of you. This aligns perfectly with Marcus Aurelius's teaching: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, something remarkable happens. You find peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you've stopped fighting battles you were never meant to fight. Think about all the energy you've spent trying to make someone like you, trying to make a situation turn out a certain way, trying to force outcomes. What if you redirected all that energy toward your own growth, your own peace, your own joy? That's the freedom that comes from releasing the illusion of control. Rule number 4: detachment in practice. Have you ever found yourself clinging to a past experience or relationship, unable to let go, wondering what would happen if you did? You hold on so tightly that it hurts, but you're too afraid to release your grip. This is incredibly common. But what if letting go led to something even better? Let's explore how to put detachment into practice using the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This principle applies beautifully to emotional attachments. Imagine you're gripping a rope so tightly that your hands are burning. You're terrified to let go because you don't know what will happen. But here's the truth: letting go doesn't mean falling. Sometimes it means you finally free your hands to reach for something far better. How many times have you done this in your own life? Clinging to what's familiar simply because you fear the unknown. And here's another trap many of us fall into: the comparison game. Think about what you see on social media every single day: perfectly curated lives, flawless highlight reels. Everyone seems to be living their best life while you feel like you're falling behind. But remember, social media is a filtered snapshot designed to showcase ideal moments. It's not reality, it's a performance. When you constantly compare your behind-the-scenes footage to someone else's highlight reel, you enter a vicious cycle. You start believing you're missing out. You start thinking that everyone else has figured it out except you. But if you don't know the full story of someone else's life, their struggles, their doubts, their 3 a.m. anxieties, then you're not missing out on anything. You're simply living your own unique life, creating your own unforgettable moments. Attachment to a false image of happiness can make letting go feel impossible. You see others living their best life and you're terrified that you're falling behind. But remember, the grass always looks greener from a distance. Up close, you'll find it has its own yellow patches, brown spots, and weeds. Don't let someone else's curated image steal the joy from your own authentic life. Detachment isn't about giving up on happiness. It's about defining happiness on your own terms, not terms dictated by social media, society, or someone else's expectations. Here's a practical step you can take right now. Take a social media break, even just for a few days. Notice how your anxiety decreases. Notice how your sense of self-worth stops fluctuating with every scroll. That's detachment in action. Another powerful practice: start a letting go journal. Each day, write down one thing you're choosing to release. a grudge, a worry, an attachment to a specific outcome. The simple act of writing it down makes it real and begins the process of emotional liberation. Rule number 5, the path to happiness. Have you ever wondered why true happiness often feels just out of reach, constantly tied to the whims of other people or external circumstances? What if the key to lasting happiness was inside you all along, completely independent of anyone else's influence? Let's explore the Stoic path to happiness and discover how emotional freedom can lead to deeper, more sustainable joy. Where does true value come from? This is the question that, when honestly answered, can pull us away from unnecessary attachments and lead us to emotional freedom. Epictetus taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This profound thought urges us to seek our sense of worth and happiness not in the external world, but within ourselves. Understanding this concept is especially critical when it comes to detaching from someone. This isn't about cutting ties with some cold, calculated plan. It's about recognizing that the deepest form of connection is the connection with yourself. Your true value stems from your character, your wisdom, and how you treat others, not from how others treat you. How often do we mistakenly believe that our happiness depends on someone else's presence in our life, that our worth rises with their approval and crashes with their rejection? This mindset chains us to the whims of others. Think of a bird that believes it needs permission to fly. That's what we do when we tie our emotional well-being to someone else's approval. We clip our own wings. We limit our own sky. But what if the sky was always open, always waiting for you to spread your wings on your own terms? This self-reliance is liberating. It teaches us that our worth isn't determined by someone else's opinion or presence. So, detachment isn't about pushing someone away. It's about drawing closer to your truest, best self. It's about freeing yourself from the heavy burden of neediness and dependency. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't beg the flowers to grow. You nurture the soil. You water the plants. You trust the natural process. By focusing on your own growth and development, you cultivate a garden that becomes a source of happiness, independent, sustainable, and deeply fulfilling. How do you walk this path of emotional freedom? It begins with understanding that you are complete, with or without anyone's approval. Your journey is about discovering the vast expanse of your own sky and learning to fly freely within it. Focus on what's within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your personal development. This doesn't mean closing your heart or turning your back on love and connection. It means anchoring your emotional stability in the solid ground of your own being, rather than in the shifting sands of someone else's moods. Remember, your self-worth is not a puzzle with a missing piece that only someone else can provide. It's a masterpiece in progress, already complete in its current form, yet always open to adding more beauty from the world around you. Rule number 6, live in the present. Do you often find yourself stuck in the past, replaying conversations, reliving regrets? Or maybe you spend your time anxiously projecting into the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. Living in the present is a core Stoic principle. It means being fully engaged in the current moment, rather than dwelling on what was or worrying about what might be. Marcus Aurelius said, "Confine yourself to the present." This statement captures the essence of Stoic wisdom, the profound importance of focusing on what is happening right now. When you dwell on the past, you relive pain and regrets that can no longer be changed. No amount of overthinking will rewrite history. Similarly, when you worry about the future, you create unnecessary anxiety about events that haven't occurred and may never occur. Both of these habits rob you of the richness of the present moment. And here's the connection to detachment. Much of our emotional attachment lives in the past. Memories, shared experiences, the way things used to be, or it lives in the future. Hopes, expectations, what could be, if only. When you learn to anchor yourself in the present, these attachments naturally begin to loosen. Mindfulness is one of the most effective ways to experience the present moment. It involves paying close, non-judgmental attention to your current experience. It means fully immersing yourself in whatever you're doing, whether it's eating a meal, taking a walk, or having a conversation. Notice the details, the taste of your food, the sensation of the ground beneath your feet, the tone of someone's voice, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. By immersing yourself in these experiences, you strengthen your connection to the present and weaken the pull of attachment to the past or future. Mental exercises can significantly enhance your ability to stay present. Meditation, for example, trains your mind to concentrate on the current moment. Even simple breathing exercises, inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, can bring your attention back to the here and now. Try dedicating just 5 minutes each day to these practices. Over time, you'll notice that you're less distracted by past regrets or future anxieties. You'll feel more centered, more grounded, more at peace. Living in the present also means appreciating what you have right now. Shifting your focus from what's missing to what's abundant can completely transform your perspective and make it much easier to release attachments that are weighing you down. As Lao Tzu said, and the Stoics would certainly agree, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Choose peace. Choose now. Rule number 7. Reframe your thoughts. Reframing your thoughts is one of the most powerful tools for achieving emotional freedom. It involves changing how you perceive and interpret situations, helping you break free from negative thought patterns that keep you trapped. Marcus Aurelius observed, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Change your thoughts, and you change your emotional state. Change your emotional state, and you change your entire life. Start by identifying the negative thoughts that are holding you captive. These might include beliefs like, "I can't live without this person. I'll never find anyone else. My happiness depends on them. I'm nothing without their approval." These thoughts breed feelings of dependency and helplessness. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. Next, challenge these thoughts by questioning their validity. Ask yourself, is this thought absolutely 100% true? What concrete evidence do I have to support this belief? Am I confusing a feeling with a fact? More often than not, you'll discover that these thoughts are exaggerated, distorted, or driven purely by emotion rather than reality. Once you've identified and challenged your negative thoughts, replace them with balanced, empowering alternatives. Instead of, "I can't live without this person," try, "I am capable of finding happiness and fulfillment on my own." Instead of, "I'll never find anyone else," try, "My future holds countless opportunities for love and connection." Instead of, "My happiness depends on them," try, "My happiness is my responsibility, and I have the power to create it." These new thoughts should reflect a more balanced, realistic view of yourself and your situation. Reframing isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing practice. Like building a muscle, it gets stronger with repetition. By consistently challenging and reshaping your negative beliefs, you'll develop a more resilient mindset and gain greater control over your emotional responses. This shift in thinking fosters a deep sense of inner strength and freedom, giving you the power to navigate life with confidence and clarity. Rule number 8. Set healthy boundaries. Do you find it difficult to say no? Do you struggle to set clear boundaries in your relationships? If so, you're not alone. But this is something that absolutely must change if you want to achieve emotional freedom. Setting healthy boundaries is crucial. Boundaries protect your well-being and give you control over your emotional space. Start by identifying what behavior is acceptable to you and what isn't. Then communicate this clearly and consistently to others. This isn't about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about being honest and respectful, both to yourself and to others. By respecting your own boundaries, you strengthen your self-confidence and develop a clear understanding of where you end and another person begins. This prevents emotional enmeshment, that dangerous state where you can no longer distinguish your feelings from someone else's. When you need space or a change in how you interact with someone, express this calmly but firmly. This isn't about pushing people away. It's about protecting your mental and emotional health. Remember, boundaries are a form of self-respect. They communicate to others that you value yourself and your needs. And here's what many people don't realize. Healthy boundaries actually improve your relationships. They create a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Setting boundaries is a proactive step toward emotional independence. It ensures that your peace of mind doesn't depend on someone else's actions or approval. Over time, consistently maintaining healthy boundaries creates a safe emotional environment where you can thrive. It allows you to focus on your own growth and well-being, strengthening your sense of self-worth and improving your overall quality of life. And remember, you teach people how to treat you. When you set clear boundaries, you're teaching the world that you are worthy of respect. Rule number 9. Prioritize self-care. When was the last time you did something purely for yourself? Not for your job, not for your family, not for your partner, just for you. Self-care is essential for emotional freedom and for building a resilient, independent life. Seneca emphasized the importance of personal well-being when he said, "A sound mind in a sound body." This is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. Self-care means prioritizing activities that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Physical exercise, for instance, doesn't just improve your health. It releases endorphins that elevate your mood and reduce anxiety. Even a 20-minute walk can shift your entire emotional state. Meditation and mindfulness practices help center your thoughts and reduce stress, promoting mental clarity and emotional stability. You don't need to sit in silence for an hour. Even 5 minutes of focused breathing can make a significant difference. Hobbies and passions play a vital role in self-care. Whether it's painting, reading, gardening, cooking, playing a musical instrument, or building something with your hands, these activities bring joy and fulfillment that make you less dependent on others for your happiness. Additionally, spending quality time with supportive, uplifting people strengthens your sense of belonging and community. Self-care is about creating a balanced lifestyle that supports your overall well-being. When you take care of yourself, you build a solid foundation that allows you to face life's challenges with confidence. This enables you to emotionally detach from others, not out of coldness, but from a place of inner strength and self-assurance. You're not pulling away because you're afraid. You're standing firmly in your own power because you've invested in yourself. Rule number 10. Practice gratitude. Have you ever noticed how focusing on what you lack amplifies your attachment to what you don't have? Gratitude is a powerful antidote to this pattern. By actively acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude helps you recognize the value of what you already possess, which reduces the perceived need for what's missing. Here's a simple daily practice. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as a sunny day, a friend's support, a delicious meal, or even just the fact that you're alive and breathing. This practice shifts your attention from what's absent to what's present, from what you've lost to what you still have. The philosopher Epictetus noted, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you don't have. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." Read that again. What you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. This wisdom reminds us to cherish our current blessings rather than fixating on what's missing. Gratitude improves your emotional state and creates a powerful buffer against the pain of attachments. When you cultivate a grateful heart, it becomes easier to release attachments that cause suffering, because you realize that your life is already rich and full, even without the thing or person you think you need. Rule number 11. Embrace impermanence. Have you ever stopped to consider just how temporary everything in life is, including relationships and emotions? Understanding impermanence is a vital Stoic principle that helps us approach life with wisdom and equanimity. The Stoics frequently reflected on the transient nature of all things, and this principle can be a powerful tool for liberation. When we truly grasp that everything in life is temporary, we begin to appreciate each moment without clinging to it. This helps us release attachments and dissolve the fear of loss. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything existing in the world is temporary, and every moment is a priceless gift." Embrace impermanence as a fundamental part of your life, and you'll discover that you become more flexible, more adaptable, more resilient. You'll be able to savor the moment without worrying about the future or regretting the past. Practice mindfulness and meditation to deepen your understanding of impermanence. Cherish what you have right now. Remind yourself that everything in this life is passing, and that every experience, whether joyful or painful, has its season. When you truly accept impermanence, you can release the fears and anxieties connected to change. This realization gives you inner strength and wisdom to meet life with confidence and serenity. Your emotional resilience will grow enormously. Embrace impermanence, and you'll open the door to deeper, more sustainable happiness, free from unnecessary attachments and suffering. And now, as we come to the end of this journey together, let me leave you with this. Life is full of changes and challenges. Use these Stoic principles to find emotional freedom and inner peace. Remember, happiness is a state of mind that is born within us, not something that someone else can give you or take away. Find your strength within. Free yourself from attachments that no longer serve you, and open your heart to new possibilities. Let every minute be filled with awareness and gratitude. Your emotional freedom is the key to a full, joyful life. You have the power. You always did. Thank you for staying until the very end. If you watched the whole thing, drop a comment below that says, "I am a Stoic," as our secret sign, so we know you're a true student of this philosophy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if this video brought you value. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, keep building your Stoic mind every single day.